All right, well, welcome to the latest workshop for roofingsites.com. It is the 2025 digital marketing plan for roofing companies. I'm excited about this because we do this once a year and we help you build that plan for the next year. I see so many roofers that have zero plan other than, hey, I want more leads or I want to grow my company, but there's not an actual, this is exactly how we're going to do it, right? Even to the point of we're not even having the plan of, hey, I want to get to from 1 million to 2 million or from 2 million to 4 million or anything realistic. I also hear, roofers coming to me and say, hey, I want to go from 500,000 to 12 million next year. And so that's, we have to be kind of realistic with things as far as that goes. And we're going to kind of go through a lot of that in this workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and get started because there is a lot to unpack here. All right. So first of all, who am I? My name is Chris Hunter. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of roofingsites.com. I'm the author of The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. I published that a year or so ago. I'm in the process of writing the next edition for that because guess what? Marketing changes all the time. So I'm actually working on the second edition of that, which is going to include all sorts of really cool things about AI and all that kind of thing. Okay. We are members of National Roofing Contractors Association, the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, the Houston Area Roofing Contractors Association. I personally have been doing this whole web thing since 1998. I first started in this industry just as a newbie, just trying to figure out all this stuff in 1998. And I first ranked a website of mine way before Google even came around, right? Which was in 1998. It was on Yahoo. That completely dates me. I realize that, but I've been doing this a really, really long time. Random fact about me, I brew IPAs. I love home brewing, and that's some of the things that I do on the weekends. I brewed my favorite IPA this past weekend, and it is almost done with the first stage of fermentation. So we'll see how it turns out next week. Pretty sure it's going to be pretty good. We're on a mission to double 100 roofing companies in the next couple of years. Okay. And this is important for y'all to know because that's literally the mission. Every single person at Roofing Sites, they all know this. This is everything that we do, including this right here, is to help you double the size of your company. Okay. All right. Enough about me. Let's talk about y'all. In the industry, there's a huge problem. Okay. There's just too many choices. Since 2020, right? Since the lockdown, there's just been an influx of roofing companies in the industry. Okay. And this might be happening in your market, but there's just a lot more roofing companies out there. So the problem is that when you have too many choices in a market, it's really hard for consumers from the homeowner standpoint, right? If we're talking about residential, it's really hard to make a decision on who to go with, okay? And the real problem becomes that you're a choice, okay, and in the market. And we really want to stand out and be the choice versus a choice, okay? And a lot of what we're going to go over today is going to help you with that. We do a lot of assessments here, okay, of roofing companies' marketing. And for the most part, what I see, when I say a lot, I see thousands, right? And with an S, right? We've assessed thousands of roofing companies' marketing, and most of them, I will tell you, is focused on tactics and not strategies. No one has an overarching strategy on how they're going to get from point A to point B. Okay. And so what that means then is that there's not a clear plan, right? And when you're trying to drive, let's say in the state of Texas where I am, right? And you just generally say, I want to go west. Well, man, you could be driving for the next 13 hours, okay, from where I'm at in College Station, Texas. Okay. So that's what I get when I talk to a lot of roofing companies is just this, hey, I just want to grow. Right. Well, how much do you want to grow by? How do you plan to get there? Right. Becomes really the huge question. Okay. I talk a lot about machines. If you can see my little thing right here. You see right behind me is a picture of the stealth jet. What we're looking at on our screen, if you're listening to this on a podcast later on, is the stealth fighter. It's the F-117. I worked on those in the Air Force, right? And this is where I learned about machines. I'm not the only time I learned about machines, but I really learned how an overall system is really made up of a whole bunch of machines. Okay, when we're talking about something like a wing in the Air Force, right? And when I say wing, I'm meaning you've got a bunch of flights and stuff like that, and all the terminology when it comes to the Air Force, but they're all made up of machines that fly and drop bombs. Literally, that's all that this plane did. Okay, so when I talk about systems, it's going to be the overarching thing, and then machines are the things on the inside, okay, that make things work. Your business is the same exact way. Your business is a collection of systems, and each of those systems have machines within them if you've set them up correctly, okay? And for the most part, machines work, right? Once you set them up, as long as you feed them fuel, as long as you give them all of the things that they need, they continue to work until they break. And then when they break, then you just have to fix it. And then again, it's back up and running. Okay. So what we're going to talk about, and really not to spend too much time on this, is really the 4R marketing system. This is what I wrote my book on. This is what we have implemented in our business as well as all of our clients' businesses for the past 20 plus years. Okay. And this has been a framework that I've helped develop, okay, that is an evergreen marketing framework, okay? And why is it evergreen? It's because, and I'll illustrate here in a little bit, but each of these pillars that we're going to go over are pillars. These are things that are tried and true and will stay tried and true till the end of time, okay? The machines on the inside of those, the tactics, if you will, on the inside of those can come and go, right? And there's lots of instances where this actually does happen. And because it's marketing and marketing changes, right, so rapidly, it's just a matter of taking things out of each of these pillars and putting something else in. Okay. So let's talk about each of these pillars. The first one is reputation. We put this at the base, right? And honestly, we put this in there because we had so many roofing companies that we were working with that had a horrible reputation that we could not get any kind of marketing working for them. Okay. So we stuck reputation in as our base pillar of absolutely your entire marketing strategies. Okay. And like I said, if you don't have a solid reputation, nothing else is going to work above this. This is like the foundation of a house. Okay. So what does that include on this? Well, for us, that includes a high conversion website, because it makes no sense to send people to a website that doesn't instill trust within 3 seconds. Okay. Once people come to your website, if they bounce within 3 seconds or whatever, if they bounce at all, that just means that they just don't trust you, right? You're not giving them what they want in order to convert them into a lead. And really, a lead to me is something that someone either takes action on, either calling you or filling out a form. It's one of those two things from a website. Okay. So we want to have a high conversion website that we send people to. And what I tell all of my clients is that your website really is the only thing that you own. It's the center of your digital marketing universe. Every bit of traffic, right, actually just flows into your website. Okay, so it's super, super important, right? And there's a lot of things that go into this, and I'll do a whole workshop on exactly what should be included in on a high conversion website. Just know that you need a high conversion website. Number two, you need online reviews. You need people saying how good that your work is. Okay, if your online reviews stink, okay, and these days people can see that, then you have an issue on your operation side of things, and then let's fix that, getting better reviews, okay? But this day and age, more and more people do their research online before they even call you, okay? In 2020, during the lockdown, that actually shifted consumer behavior by quite a bit, And so therefore we have to focus on online reviews. Now there's other things that go into that, right? Like search engine optimization, like local service ads, like Google business profile, all of those things. Google itself doesn't want to rank you unless you have a solid reputation. So that's another, reason for that. Okay. The next, and we added this in here because I see so many roofers out there that do not post on their social media. So the next one is social media, right? There are so many that neglect their social media. They might post once or twice. I sometimes see like maybe once or twice a year that they post. They'll get on a rant and do it for a month, and then the next 11 months there'll be nothing on their social media channels. Or even worse, right? They had someone doing that for them. Those are the only people that had access to that Facebook or Instagram account or Twitter or LinkedIn. And now they don't even have access to their own accounts, right? So that's a whole issue all by itself. But when people go to you and research you and go to your social media account and there's nothing posted there, or there is maybe one post per year, or even worse, nothing's been posted in 4 or 5 years, okay, then that's an issue, okay? So we want to make sure that we're posting on a regular schedule to our social media, and we can go into all sorts of things, what you want to actually post on that here in a little bit. Reach is the next pillar, right? Getting in front of more people today than knew about you yesterday. This is what most people think of when they think of marketing, okay? Is getting in front of more people. These are the tactics that people talk about, and most even marketing companies sell, okay? They go in and they say, yeah, we can do SEO, or we can get you ranked, or we can do pay-per-click ads, or we can do all these things. But just know that those are tactics. Okay. With this entire system here, right? We built this in a specific way so that if SEO, for whatever reason, if Google stops working and it switches over to ChatGPT, guess what we're going to focus on, right? We're going to add that into this pillar, to the reach pillar. Okay. I like search. I've been doing it for 20 plus years. I like search specifically because if you do it right, you're in the right place at the right time that people are actually searching for you. It's the highest buyer intent out there. So I like to focus on Google. Google's the big dog and has been for the past 20 years. Okay. Of course, there's Yahoo. Of course, there's Bing, right? Bing is, if you've ever used it, it's not very good. Okay. And so it's takes up maybe 1% market share, right, in the search industry. Okay. ChatGPT is getting better, but it's not Google, right? Google's still the big dog, and that's who we focus on. Okay. And when I say focus on that, I mean making sure that you're in the top 4 spots of either local service ads. Those are typically in the very top of any search. Number 2 is pay-per-click, right? That's typically the second spot, right, on any given search. The third spot is the 3-pack, right, with the maps area. Okay. And then the last spot, which you should never ignore, is organic, because organic really helps you get ranked in the 3-pack. Okay. So there's a lot of things that go into all of that stuff, but know that we like to focus on Google because that's where people go. That's where they go to find you. It's like McDonald's, right, being on the freeways. You see that McDonald's sign, you know that you can pull over there at any given point, and they do that specifically on purpose so that they're putting their services in the right place at the right time that you're probably going to be looking for them. Okay. Next, I've got Facebook ads on there. I don't like to focus on Facebook ads for lead generation. I like to focus on Facebook ads for reselling. Okay. And we're going to get to that pillar here in a second, but it's not something to completely ignore. I just don't like it for lead generation because the quality of leads coming from Facebook and Instagram are not real good quality, honestly. Okay. These are typically people that you're going to have to chase down. They're tire kicking. They're shopping your services out, right? Google, they're coming one-to-one trying to find you to call you. Okay. I've got content marketing in here, right? Because that drives the whole engine with everything, whether that's social media, whether that is on your website for search engine optimization. Every single social channel you've got to post content to, Okay. So content marketing is huge. Video content marketing is getting even bigger and has been big for the past 4 to 5 years and getting even bigger. Okay. Social media again is in this pillar because we obviously you can't not do social media. And I get so many people that I talk to, they're like, oh, I don't believe in social media. Well, that's cool, but your consumers do, the homeowners do, right? That's where they're researching you. And if you don't exist there, again, that hurts your reputation. Now, let's talk about the next pillar. The next pillar is resell, right? We are 8 times more likely to sell to someone who has purchased from us before in the past. But yet, when I talk to roofers, very few roofing companies are actually doing anything at all in this pillar. Okay. They're not going back to their customers that they've sold to again and again and again. Most of the Fortune 500 companies, by the way, know that this works because you're not having to pay for that customer again and again and again. Okay. Amazon knows this very well. Walmart knows this very well. They sell to you over and over and over again. We're in the Christmas season, right? And guess what? Everybody and their dog is going to Amazon or Walmart.com to go get their gifts because they can have them shipped to you, right? So I suggest that we concentrate on this pillar, right? And in this pillar, we've got something that's called database reactivation, right? This is basically going back to your past customers and cross-selling to them, okay? And selling them either, if you sell gutters, windows, siding, solar, like almost every other roofing company out there, I suggest that let's go back to that database, go back to them, and just simply have a conversation of, hey, we have this service. Would you like it? You know, and that's very simplified way of saying that. Ross here is probably going, no, that's not how you do it at all. But, you know, think of it to be conversational, right? That and the more that you can make that sound like their best friend that's coming back to them, the better that's going to work. Okay. Retargeting ads are in here. All right. You've got to retarget. If someone comes to your website, it's important to follow them around everywhere. Okay. When I say everywhere, I mean like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere that has the code that's in it, and it's called Google AdSense. Okay. That's in it, like ESPN, Fox. I mean, that you name it, any news website is running the Google Ads platform in it. Okay. You want to be completely omnipresent in your market. And again, that comes back to being the choice versus a choice in your market. Okay. So if you paid for someone to come to your website and you did that in one fashion or another, whether that was paying someone like us to get them there from Google, or maybe they saw your trucks, or maybe they saw a sign, you paid to get them to your website. Why not follow them around to remind them to come back to you? And this is called retargeting. This technology has been available for the past decade, right? But very few companies that I do assessments with, and like I said, we've done thousands of them in the past couple of years, right? Very few of these companies actually have this implemented, okay? Now, there's other really cooler technologies out there. I wish I had it. I went to a buddy of mine's tree service website, right? And he does tree service, and he implemented this technology that's super creepy, but it's cool. A week later, I got a postcard in the mail. I didn't fill anything out. I didn't tell him what my address was. None of that stuff. But it showed up in the mail. And so I had my employees test this too. And guess what? It came to them when they went to his website. Creepy but cool, right? That's kind of what a lot of marketing is these days. Okay. But think of this. If you paid to someone to get to your website, they get to your website, and then they walked off for whatever reason, right? And didn't make a buying decision to the first buying decision to call you. A postcard shows up in their mail a couple days later. Oh yeah, that's right. I meant to call them. It also reinforces in their mind that you're the choice in their market. Okay. Okay. Other things that we have on here: lead nurturing. When someone comes into your sales funnel, it's super important to get them to the next stage. Okay, not just through retargeting, that's a reinforcement in their mind, but to actually start a conversation to get them to the next stage in the sales pipeline. Okay. So lead nurturing campaigns going out and happening are super, super important. Okay. So if someone comes and they come to your website, they call you, right? It's simply a follow-up campaign to get them to that appointment. Once they get into an appointment, that's a whole different stage, right? So you want to get them to understand that you're the choice versus a choice. Okay. You could do this by sending them testimonials, right? Just leverage those reviews that you're getting in Google. You could send them videos from the owner. There's all sorts of things that you can do and send to them to reinforce them in their mind that you're the choice. Okay. The next one is monthly newsletter. A monthly newsletter to me is one of the ultimate leverage tools in your arsenal. Okay. Nobody does this. Nobody. And when I say nobody, again, I've interviewed thousands. We've assessed thousands of roofing companies. Nobody does a monthly newsletter because a monthly newsletter keeps you top of mind. Okay. Top of mind when if and you're giving them valuable content if you leverage the content that you're producing. Okay. So we want to stay top of mind because guess what? Storms come through, right? Whether that's wind, hail, whatever, tree falls on their roof. We want to be there and we want to be top of mind the second that stuff happens. Okay. We want them coming back to us. All right. That's the resell pillar. There's all sorts of other things that go into the resell pillar, but these are just the basics here. Okay. All right. Next one, referral. This is the top of the pillars here. Okay. Referrals are super important. That's how we all build our businesses. Okay. It's how we started and a lot of roofers that I talk with have good referral programs, but it's only in the owner's mind. All of their employees don't know what it is. All of their customers don't know what it is, right? So we want to make it to where everyone knows exactly what your referral program is. Okay. You want to post it to your website. You want to send it out periodically to your email database. Okay. You want to actively seek out your referral sources, build them into your database and into your content strategies as well. Okay. So this is an important pillar that is completely ignored once you get to a certain stage in your roofing company. I typically see that at around $1 to $2 million, right, in annual revenue. Once they start scaling above that, this just completely breaks because it's only in the business owner's mind. Okay. And even then, it's not formalized. It's not, hey, we give a $250 Visa gift card or Amazon gift card or whatever, right, out to anyone who refers business to us that turns into a new roof. Okay, $250 is a complete drop in the bucket, right? And we all know that referral leads convert at 60 to 80%. Okay, so we want those types of leads coming into us. Okay, social media is another good place here. If you notice, social media is pretty much in every single one of these pillars. Okay, and that's because that's where people go, right? They don't go there to find you, though. They go there to research you. They will go there and see pictures of dogs and cats and kids and stuff like that. You know, their friends' kids and families' kids and friends and family. They go there to get all that kind of stuff. Okay. They don't necessarily go there to find you, but it's important to post onto your social media. And this is just one of those things that you can post. Okay. All right. This is the 4R system. So next stage here, let's talk about how do you practically implement this. All right. I've got a workbook here. Let's go ahead and open it up. Use the QR code to go to it. If you're listening to this down the road, just go to roofingsites.com/workbook. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. Pull it open in my browser here. Okay. So inside of this workbook, there's a few things here. Okay. One is the overall view of the 4R roofing marketing system. Okay. And pretty much everything that we just went over. But I've got this here with a few tools that you can use in your business right now. And you can take away, if you click on any of these links, okay, it should take you to and redirect you to copy this document over. So the first one is assess your marketing. Okay. It's important to kind of know where you're at, right? And so the first thing that we do with any customer that comes into our world is that we do an assessment of their marketing. This is the exact tool that we do it with. Okay. This first started out as an internal checklist that we used to make sure that we were doing all the stuff that we needed to do for marketing for roofers. And then we figured, you know what? Why don't we use this as an assessment? And now we're giving it out for free. Okay. So that's what this is. All right. The first tab here where it says start here gives you some instructions, right? Gives you the 4R roofing marketing system overview. Click on the results tab. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to click on the questionnaire tab because the questionnaire will actually produce the overall view of your results here. I'm not going to go into huge detail on this because I'm going to let you take this and I'm going to let you use it to do an internal assessment on your own marketing. Okay. These are all of the things that we know that helps drive sales, right? To help drive lead generation that then also helps drive sales for your marketing. Okay. So first, is your website optimized? Okay. For conversions, we talked about that in the reputation pillar. Okay. Certain things like, do you have the phone number in the upper right-hand corner of every page? Are you using authentic images or are you using stock photography? Okay. Do you have a compelling call to action button after every block of text? If you look at our website, it's a great illustration of this. These are call to action buttons. Okay. Schedule a call. Make sure that they say the same thing, right? Because marketing is about repetition. Okay. Make it a strong call to action, not just start now. Okay. Or contact us. Ours is schedule a call. A lot of our roofers use schedule an estimate. Okay. Get a free estimate, something like that, right? Something that is a strong call to action. Okay. Are you giving customers the option to engage via two-way chat or text? That's this thing down here. I've been seeing more and more of these show up on roofing company websites, and I applaud them for that. This is just another way for people to get in touch with you. Okay. We use text messages because it's real easy. Most people are willing to do that. And for us, we have this hooked up to our AI assistant. So you might think that you're talking to me. Sorry, you're not. You're talking to our AI, right? Bot. That's actually going to be following up with you on that. Okay. And we're rolling this out in Q1 for all of our clients as well because it works. It works really, really well. Let me see. Are you giving? Oh, wait, I just said that. Do you have an online appointment scheduler? Okay. So if you look at our website, okay, you can schedule an appointment with my team. Okay. But yet very few roofers have this. Why not make it easy for the homeowners to schedule you to come out? What if you could bypass even that phone conversation and just have them directly go to the calendar and pick the best time for them to get on your calendar? But like you can see, there's slots that are available here. All right, for December 20th, you can go in here and you could schedule a time to talk with one of my team. Why not do the same thing with your sales staff? Okay. Again, it makes, if you come at it from a standpoint of what can we do to make it easier for the consumer, right? People don't like talking on the phone these days. They just don't. Okay. It should be there for the people that do. There's a lot of Gen Xers like myself that would rather just call, but millennials, right? Typically don't like to call. They like to text. So why not give them that option? Okay. Is your website mobile friendly? All right. With easy click to call button. Okay. That kind of almost goes with this compelling call to action button after every block of text. Is your website fast loading? I mean, that's a no-brainer. Make sure that it loads fast. If it's slow, people are going to bounce. Okay. Google knows this so much that a couple of years ago, they came out and told the entire web industry that if your website isn't fast, we're not going to rank you. Okay. So we went out and we found the absolute best hosting company that we could for our clients. And we have them on that hosting company right now. Okay. So speed is fast. Of course it's fast. Speed is important. Okay. Super important these days. Anyways, so what I want y'all to do, this is homework that you're going to have here because we don't want to spend too much time. There's about 80 items on this checklist. Go through and do a self-assessment. What it's going to do is that it's going to tell you over here, okay, how you scored, right? First of all, in the reputation pillar, then the reach pillar, then the resell, and the referral pillar. Okay. How did you score in these? Once you see the score, then you can start building a plan and say, okay, well, the first priority, should be reputation. Next should be my website. Next should be tracking. Okay. Just go through and prioritize each of those things. And then what we're going to go over here in a minute is let's build a plan to make that actually happen in this next year. Okay. So it all starts with the assessment. Okay. Step number 2, write down your goals, right? You are 8 times more likely to achieve a goal if you actually write it down. I mean, that's research that's been out there for past 50 to 100 years, right? Napoleon Hill in, God, what is it called? Oh, yeah. Think and Grow Rich. I had to look because it's right behind me. Okay. In Napoleon's Hill, Think and Grow Rich, right? He talked about that. And that book was written in the like 1950s. Okay. So this concept has been out there. Write down your goals. So if you click on this, all right, and let's go ahead and click on both of them, open both of those up. This is straight out of Entrepreneurial Operating System. I'm a huge fan of EOS. If you're not running EOS in your business, okay, it's a business framework. I highly recommend it. Ask me later about it. I can geek out about that stuff all day long, but this is a small portion of EOS. Okay. And this is actually taken straight out of the Vision Traction Organizer. Okay. From that. Okay. But this is something that it's important for us to have. It's important for you to have, obviously. But when we work with clients, we try to get this information, because if we know where our clients want to be in 5 to 10 years, which is your big, hairy, audacious goal, BHAG. Okay. If we know where you want to be in 3 years and in 1 year, we can help you get there, by building some initiatives called rocks, and these are the big things that we have to accomplish each quarter in order to achieve the 1 year plan. Okay. So what I do inside of our company, we literally just did this. What was that, this week, Ross? I think, like on Monday, we built out our plan for 2025, doing this same exact exercise. Okay. So first, it starts with the date. What's the future date? Okay. Some people, for their big, hairy, audacious goal, like 5 years out. Some of them like to put it 10 years out. Okay. If you can think that far out and say, okay, well, I want to be the absolute biggest company in Texas, by in 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, whatever that it is, right? That's the vision. That's the moonshot, right? That's where we want to go. And the reason for this entire exercise here is so that not only you've got it written down, but your team has access to this document, especially your leadership team, so that they can help you row in that direction. Okay. As marketing department, we serve as a lot of our clients, outsourced marketing department. This is an important piece for us to have so that we know where you want to row, so we can help you get there. Okay. So if you want to get to $20 million in annual revenue, we can help you get there. If you want to get to $100 million in annual revenue, we have to know that, because then we can help you make decisions on, well, maybe you're not investing enough in your marketing to get you to the next level, right? Because you have to do certain things to get to the next level of no matter where your business is. Okay, so big, hairy, audacious goal, write that down. And in fact, actually here, let's go through, I gave you an example, right, of Acme Roofing Company here. All right, it's super generic, but this is something that's very similar to what we've gone through on this exercise with some clients, okay? So for instance, December 22nd, 2025, I don't think that's the correct year. I think should be more like 2029, okay? 2,000 roof replacements per year by December 30th, 2028. All right, here's where I messed up. The date here is the current date. BHAG here is specific, right? It is timely. It is, it's a SMART goal, right? So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Okay. We know exactly what time it is here. So 2,000 roof replacements per year by December 31st, 2029. 10x the current company size to $30 million. Okay. 3-year picture. We've got the future date of 12/31/2027. I like to do the end of the year. Okay. For goals specifically. Revenue, they put 15 million in 3 years, right? Profit of 20%. And the measurables in order to get to that is 1,000 roof replacements in that year. Okay. What would they have to do to get there? Well, they'd have to get locations in every major metro in Texas. Okay. Identify and purchase for roofing companies. Okay. Because sometimes growth comes through purchasing, right? And there are a lot of roofing companies, even that I'm meeting with, that are getting ready, the owners getting ready to retire. Those companies are available out there. You just got to identify to them and talk to them. And that might be a way to get to this point, right? Generate 4,000 leads, hire a CEO to replace Bob, our fictional Bob here, right? That's in charge of his roofing, Acme Roofing Company. Okay, so backtracking on this, right? Because I like to work backwards. 1 year plan, future date 12/31/2025. Annual revenue is 6 million. Okay, basically doubling where they're at now. Okay, we didn't put this on here, but we're assuming that they're at 3 million. Okay, what would they have to do to get there? 400 roof replacements. Okay, so in order to achieve that, right, we're working backwards off of this goal here, the open location in DFW area. Okay, identify and purchase one roofing company in this next year, generate 1,600 leads, elevate Joseph, the fictional Joseph, to COO, fully implement EOS, fully implement for our roofing marketing system. I had to put that one in there. Okay. All right. Quarterly rocks. Why quarterly? Well, because, you know, and this comes straight off of EOS, but it's also, he got that, Gino Wickman got that from Vern Harnish, who developed the Rockefeller habits, right? Rockefeller habits. He did some studies on the Rockefellers, who was super successful, right? He figured out that they worked in 12-week sprints, okay, of specific major projects in order to achieve their goal for each year. Okay, so he called these rocks. Okay, these are the big things that you've got to accomplish this quarter in order to push you towards your goal. All right, so in this case, future date of 3/31/25, revenue of $600,000. Okay, and that's just because Q1 is typically a little bit slower than Q2 and Q3. Okay, so he's planning for that here. Profit level of 20%. Okay, $120,000 in measurables, 40 roof replacements. What do they have to do in order to achieve these goals over here? They've got to research a company that they can purchase, or a couple of companies in DFW area, right? Redesign their website, start SEO campaigns, generate 160 leads, start Google Ads campaigns, fix their reputation, implement the first stage of EOS. All right, this is called right person, right seat, making sure that you have the right people in each of the right seats. Setting your vision, what we're doing here, okay? And then getting into a regular meeting rhythm with your leadership team to start with, right? So that's kind of the first stages of implementing EOS. I'm going to let you sit down. And what I highly suggest is that you sit down with your leadership team, okay? And fill this document out. Keep it in a folder that your leadership team has access to. When it comes time to a new quarter, simply copy this and change out the rocks. Once a year, go through, change out the year plan, possibly the 3-year picture, because sometimes you need to adjust course. Okay. Absolute worst case scenario is changing the BHAG. Okay. If you have to change that. All right. But get into a rhythm of doing this. How long did we take, Ross? 8 hours. Okay. It's an 8-hour meeting. We put everything aside with our leadership team. We've done it in person. We're a completely remote team. We've done it in person before. And it's kind of an important item to put on the calendar once a quarter and once a year. Okay. If you don't have a leadership team, that's okay. Fill this out. As you build your leadership team, show this to them, share this with them, because it's important for them to know where the company is going. Right? It builds that vision, and it shares that vision, your vision, with every single employee. Okay. Okay. So that's step number 2, is to write your goals down. Okay. Let's talk about budget now. Okay. Budgets are important. And what I commonly see in the industry as we do assessments is that people are either spending no money on their marketing. Okay. Or they're spending money, but it's only on one thing, like pay-per-click or whatever, right? We have to build the plan for our companies. If we want to go from point A to point B, your budget is one of the biggest parts of all of that. Okay. Especially from the marketing standpoint. Now, the NRCA recommends that you spend anywhere between 5 and 10% of your overall revenue on marketing. Okay. So if you're at $1 million, you really should be spending $8,333 per month on your marketing. Now, I will further state that you should be spending on where you want to go because you don't just put enough fuel in the fuel tank for where you're at. You put enough fuel in the fuel tank to drive where you want to go, right? So, like for instance, if I'm going to Dallas, I'm in College Station, Texas, that's 3.5 hours away. I better fill up my gas tank before I go. Well, marketing is the same thing. You've got to fuel it, right? You've got to give it a budget. You've got to invest in it. So NRCA says anywhere between 5 and 10%. Okay. If the marketing is really, really dialed in, sometimes you could go beneath that 5%. Okay. But you've got to have it dialed in first. It's got to be completely super optimized in order to do that. Okay. Okay. So in this budget worksheet, all right, we've got a few variables that we have to put in here. The very first tab is review your prior year because it's important to know where you were. Okay, first. In this case, right, $3.4 million with this client. Number of sales were 438. They had number of leads of 1,500 leads for the year. Okay. Total ad spend was 21,000. Google ad spend was 6,000 of that. Local service ads was 12,500. Facebook ads were $2,609. This is a real client's numbers, by the way. Okay. Average sales price of 7,000 because sometimes, you know, I mean, we have to take into account everything from repairs to re-roofs. Okay. We can't just say we're only going to do re-roofs because a lot of times repairs lead to re-roofs. And guess what? That also builds that relationship with that person. And it's 60% profit margins if you do it right. Okay. So don't rule that out, but that brings that average sale price down. All right. Sales conversion rate. And by the way, the white ones over here are the ones that you fill in. Okay. Fill all these numbers in from last year. Okay. Your revenue, your number of sales, leads, ad spend, wherever you spent your spend on. Okay. All right. So this will automatically calculate this out. Okay. So for this client, their average sale price was 7,762. Their sales conversion rate was 29.2%. Pretty good, honestly, you know, from what we see. So they've got a lot of their sales dialed in. They're answering their phones. They are following up with people, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty good. Percentage of revenue spent, 60.64%. Okay. That's well below that 5% minimum that the NRCA recommends. So my recommendation to them, let's bump that up this next year. Okay. Average cost per lead, $14.48. That is super freaking dialed in marketing right there. Okay. What we see when people come to us is $250 a lead. So put that in comparison there, right? So $14 per lead that they paid in 2024. Next tab, lead generation target. Okay. Annual revenue goal. This is where you put in that number from the number right over here. What is your goal for the year? Okay. For this client, it was 6,000 or 6 million is what they want to get to. Okay. Monthly revenue target. Well, that's going to compute that. That's 500,000. That's easy. That's your average job divided by you know, how much, where you want to go. Okay. Average job size, let's bring that in here. And then how many service calls would we need to hit? Actually, let me backtrack on that. This is actually this number divided by 12. Okay. Assuming that we were going to make the same amount every single month. Right. And that's might or might not be true because you got slow season, you got busy season. Okay. But on average, how much should you be, you know, striving for? All right. Now this is where this takes this number divided by this number right here. So revenue target divided by the average job value equals how many service calls that you need to make. How many appointments do you need to make, right, in order to hit your monthly goal? Note step number 2, the number of leads required to hit that target. Okay. Your average job conversion rate of 29%. Well, you would need 221 leads per month. Okay. In order to do that. And this is again is assuming all of these numbers are accurate right here. You should be able to get every single one of these from either your CRM or QuickBooks or your bookkeepers, right? And then from your marketing team should be able to tell you what amount of leads that you got and all of these numbers here. Okay. From your ad spend from in each of the different places. Okay. Okay. So average cost per generated lead, this brought it in from that first tab, Monthly budget required to hit your target, 3,194 in order to get to $6 million. That's what we determined based off of their marketing as it currently stands on what they need to spend in ads in order to get to that point. Okay. Percentage of budget, 0.64% still. Okay. And I think that's just pulling that directly from here, I think. All right. Does this make sense so far on all of this? All right. So your homework is to go in and fill in all of these numbers in that first tab. Okay. This third tab over here, the budget allocations, this is where we further go down and we say, okay, we're going to break this out into a couple of different areas. Online marketing, offline marketing, and repeat business. What percentage do you want to do? Well, what's obviously online marketing? We know what that is, right? Offline marketing, what is that? That's your signs, it's your trucks, it's your shirts, it's your hats, it's your Little League sponsorships, it's your Chamber of Commerce membership, it is radio and TV, whatever that you want to do outside of digital marketing. This is where you can account for that and budget for that for this next year. Okay. So again, start out with your projected revenue, where you want to go, your marketing budget percentage. Okay. If we go to the NRCA recommended minimum of 5%, that means that our total marketing budget is $300,000 if we want to get to 6 million. Okay. Average monthly budget of $25,000. It's kind of a steep reach for a lot of people, right? For a lot of companies. All right. So just play with those numbers. Go to 1%. Find something that's within reach, but then start with being intentional, right? About where you want to go, and start taking that money. If you're using profit first, this is a very easy system to do this, right? Is to start taking your percentage of every dollar that you bring in and start investing that, or start putting that into a savings account. Okay. Set that aside and say, okay, I'm going to use this to completely dominate my market. Okay. And if you don't use it all, that's fine. In the profit first system, that pays it back to you, right? Okay. Average monthly budget, if we say 1% is $5,000, that's doable for almost any company. For a $6 million company, that should be totally doable. Okay. Is to spend 1% of your overall revenue. All right. Which gives us $60,000. Now, what I would say is probably let's push a little bit, right? And let's aim for 2% maybe, right? $10,000 for the year. And if we do that, what this says here, all right, is when we come down to our allocations where we're going to push this, all right, let's say that we want to spend 80% in online marketing, 15% in offline, and 5% on repeat business. Repeat business is what you're compensating people to send business to you. Okay. That's that referral pillar. Okay. As we come down here into the actual months, this is where we're going to start playing around with some of these numbers here. Okay. The reason I built this is I'm a spreadsheet guy. I like messing around with spreadsheets. I like, and when it comes time for budgeting, it's super important to be able to do something like this right here. Okay. So you can either there's two schools of thought here. You can either say, all right, I'm going to spend the same amount every single month. I'm going to budget that same amount every single month. Or you could do what I've done over here and say, okay, well, in slower times, I'm going to lean heavier into marketing. I'm going to spend more on ads to drive business so that I keep my crews busy. Okay. During the busy season, I don't have to market nearly as much. I don't have to spend nearly as much in ads in order to get that business in, because people are naturally coming our way. Okay. So maybe I won't spend so much in the busy season. Okay. So April in Texas here, right? So I put in April through July is a busy season. Of course, you could easily argue that August and September are still busy season here in Texas, right? Play around with these numbers, see what's going to work for you. Just make sure that this adds up to 100% down over here. Okay. Because, anyways, yeah, I'm not going to go there. All right. Offline marketing, do the same thing. Offline marketing, you might want to budget the same amount. It's up to you, right? In this case, because we're spending 15% up here, and we broke it out 8.33%, this breaks it out to $1,500 a month that we have budgeted for offline marketing. Do you need that? When I was talking with a client earlier this week, she was like, well, we've already got trucks and we've wrapped and we've already got signs. We don't anticipate anything this next year. Do we have to do that much? Do we have to budget? And I said, no, absolutely not. Let's play around with these percentages here. So we took it way down on the offline marketing, right? Because they've got those things already set up, and they don't really do anything else besides, sponsoring a little league team here and there, right? Play around with these numbers. Repeat business column. This is the same exact thing. Figure out what's going to work for you as far as a budget goes. Okay, so the next step here is that we're going to take and further break out our online marketing allocation here. Okay, so our online from this number up here is $96,000 that we're allocating for the entire year for online marketing. Well, how do we break that out? Well, I like to say that you need at least 35% of that going for SEO because that's your long-term strategy. Okay, that's how people organically find you in your market online, and specifically via Google. That might turn into ChatGPT. Who knows what's going to happen in the next year, right? And consumer behavior. But right now it's Google that we concentrate on. Okay. Pay-per-click and LSAs, local service ads. These are important to spend money to get those leads because this gets you in front of them right now, today. Okay. So let's take a percentage of that budget and allocate that. So in this case, we said, okay, 55% is going to go towards those ads budget. And then retargeting, display ads, you don't need a whole lot for those because those are super highly targeted ads. People come to your website, your ads follow them around. Okay. So that doesn't need to be huge as far as that goes. So we allocated 5%, which came to $4,800 per year. Not a whole lot. Okay. And how that breaks out, 35%, 55%, 5% is 33,600 for SEO, 52,800 for pay-per-click, and 4,800 for display and retargeting. I know I'm getting boring here. If you're listening to this as a podcast, God bless you, because this is not fun listening to numbers over a podcast. I'm sorry. I want you to take the takeaway that I want you to take away here is sit down right now, make a plan, build a plan for the entire year here. Okay. And again, you can come through here, by the way, and play with the numbers on busy season versus, going straight through. I'm going to spend the same amount every single month. All right. Same kind of a decision to make as above, except just on SEO, pay-per-click, and display. So I know we're right at the hour here. Again, this was all from the 4R roofing marketing system. A lot of this was planning for this next year. I believe it's important because you can't get where you want to go without a plan. Okay. Something super important to do. So 4 steps for your marketing. Number 1, fix your reputation. That's the reputation pillar. Number 2, reach more people today than yesterday. Number 3, resell to past customers. And then, of course, let's get more referrals because those are the best, absolute best sales right there. Okay. If you stayed with me so far, let's get a free book. If you don't have my book in your hands right now, okay, at least digitally, go to this, use this QR code, or go to go.roofingsites.com to get a free copy of my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers, and to be on our list for when we send out the next copy, which should come pretty soon here. I'm working on the second edition, more updated with AI and all that kind of stuff. If you like to know how all this stuff works, that's great. If you like to know how it works but don't want to do it yourselves, we're, of course, here to help you. Use the QR code on your screen or go to roofingsites.com/schedule to schedule a time with me and my team to build this plan out with you, okay, and to help get you to where you want to go. We, of course, want to double your company. That's exactly what our mission is to double the size of 100 roofing companies. And I don't know, maybe it should be yours. Okay, so just give us a holler. More than happy to help.